Very good morning to Computer Science Batains. Let us start our today's computer class. So in previous lecture we have discussed the concept of passing the arguments to a function of chapter 3. So we will be doing a program related to the same topic. Okay, so yesterday we have read about the concept of default arguments, positional arguments and the keyword also. So based on that particular, we will be now using this program to clear our concepts. Okay, so here we are calculating the simple interest using the interest function, where the principal value will be received by you. Okay, time is 10%, rate is 10% and time is 2 years. These two you will be passing by default, and principal you will be passing yourself. And we will be using here two cases actually. Firstly, the default will be used, then the same values you will be passing using the input function. Okay, so this is the function definition. Interest function has been defined. It will have three arguments: principal at the first position, time at the second position has been default value initialized with 2, and rate is 10%. 10% can also be written as 0.10. Okay, so these two are the default arguments. Here we need to put this colon also, don't forget to put it here. Then return statement we are writing to calculate the interest. Okay, so from here the main execution will begin. Okay, so how it will begin? Firstly, prin is your variable that is going to hold the value of the principal that you will be entering. The user will be entering that too in the float data type. Okay, so once the user has entered this principal amount, then this print statement will print this particular line as it is, and then SI1, this is a variable again that is going to store the value that will be calculated from this interest function. So whatever prin has been containing, okay, that will be passed to this interest function. Here principal will get this value. Okay, why only one argument has passed? Because other two, it is assuming that the default arguments will be used up. Okay, so just principal value that the user has entered is passed here, and when this function call appears, then it has to go to function definition. So it will come here, so it will pass whatever value it has collected from the user to principal variable, and 2 and 0.10 will be used up to calculate this return value. Okay, so it will return this multiplication. After this multiplication, this value will be returned to this interest function, which automatically will replace it here. Okay, so whatever value after multiplication has been obtained is written here instead of interest print. This particular statement will be replaced and the value will be stored in SI1. So we will give the print function this value to print. Okay, so you can see you have given 6700, then it has calculated 3140 as the output. Okay, you can see this is written as it is here. Simple interest with the default ROI and time values is, so this will bring the value from the function definition and replace it here, and it will print rupees whatever is obtained. Okay, so now this time rate of interest and time the user is going to enter. Okay, then again after you will enter the rate of interest, you can see it is written here. You have given value 8 for time, you have given value 3 this time. Now this statement will be printed simple interest for your provided ROI time is, this has been printed. Okay, now this function call, okay, will take this control to the function definition. Now what value you have given for 6700 principal you have given, so it will take 6700 into rate you have passed here, that is 8. Okay, and 0.8, actually why it has divided by 100, because 8 to make it 8%. Okay, so it will be 0.08. Time you have given time is 3 years. You have given rate of interest 8, that has been converted to 0.08, and time has also been placed here. Principal you have already given 6700. So these three values will be passed on to this function, and it will return this value to this function. So it will print here again. So this time the simple interest is 1608. I hope you are clear with this concept. Okay, now we will be starting up our next topic, that is returning values from function. So we can have two types of function basically. One is your non-void function and the one is your void function. Non-void means that will return something, function returning some values, and there can be some function which are not going to return any value. Okay, so we will be dealing with, see, these types of function that are returning value to the called function. These types of functions are known as non-void functions. This first category, returning some value, so these are non-void functions. And if the function is not returning any value, means it will not contain any return statement, so it will not return any value. So these types of functions will be known as void functions. So let us see them one by one. Okay, so firstly the function returning some value, that is non-void functions. Okay, so you will be having a return statement inside them using this type of syntax. Fine. So return statement may have three types of variation. It may return a literal like 5 you are returning, it may return a variable like return a, okay, or it may have an expression that first it has to calculate and then it will give the return value. Okay, so these three variations you can have, these all are your valid statements. Okay, if you are going to return a literal like this, that this will also be returned, 5 will be returned here, 10 will be returned here, the value of a will be returned here, the value of a raised to power 3 will be returned here, the expression will be solved first, then the value will be returned. Similar is the case here. So there are three types of variations that a return statement may support, that is your literal, a variable, or an expression. Once again, a literal, a variable, or an expression. Okay, so let us see another function here. We have sum function, sum of two numbers, actually it will be calculating how when this function call will be encountered. So sum 5, 3. Okay, actually this is not a complete program, it is just to provide you the execution part of the function only. We have skipped all other statements. When this statement will be executed in the program or received in the program, this function call will take you to the function definition. 5 and 3 will be passed here, so s will calculate it as 8 and return 8. So this time this 8 will be returned here and result will get 8 as answer, so it will print it. Okay, so if you are writing this is a kind of assignment. Okay, so whatever value this function has obtained will be assigned to this particular variable which is written on the left side of the statement, equal to operator. Okay, now this type of statement may also exist. This is a function call, whatever function value it will receive afterwards, that will be printed with the help of print statement. So you are attaching your function with an assignment statement along with a variable. This time you are using your function call to obtain the value and to get it printed with the help of print statement. This time what you are doing, you are using a relational expression. So firstly, whatever value is being evaluated will be compared. If this condition is true, then particular things will be happening. Okay, so here you are using this function call and that value whatever is being returned will be used along with the relational expression for doing the comparison. Okay, here return value will be assigned, here returned value through this function will be printed, here returned value through this function will be compared. I'm repeating once again, here the returned value will be assigned to the variable, here the returned value through this function will be printed, here the returned value will be used for comparison of the expression. Okay, so if you are using such type of function, means you are using a void function, then that will not be a fruitful function. The functions that are returning value, they are known as fruitful functions. Okay, if you are not using any return statement, that function will not return anything. So if it is not returning, then the value is going completely waste. Means that function you are using and you are not returning any value, so that return value is completely waste. But Python is not going to report an error for it, because there is nothing actually written which is syntactically wrong, but that work output will be wasted. Okay, so better to use a non-void function. That will be a better actually to get your work done. Okay, the return statement here they are using, see here, return statement, return a, whatever value you have given. This is a function definition. See, this is -15, this is function call, this -15 will be assigned here. Okay, this match fab function, okay, it will do the work, its work, and that particular value will be stored here in a. Then a will be returning this value to check, and it is printed here. Okay, actually what it is trying to say here, if return statement is written in between the function, then whatever statements are written after it will not be reachable actually. So return, as it has encountered return, this value of a will be returned to this function here. This print a will not be reached out and it will not be executed at all. So if you want that this type of problem should not be there, then use this return statement at the last, not in the middle of the function. So if you are writing it in middle of the function, then the rest of the statements will not get executed. So you must keep this thing in mind. This is very important. Okay, if you do not use a function call of a function returning some value inside any other expression or statement, the function will be executed but its return value will be wasted. Okay, means if you are not using any return, its return value will be wasted, but there will be no error. And second thing, what you have observed, don't write this middle return statement in the middle. Okay, next is your function not returning any value. So these types of functions are known as void functions. Okay, you are writing return, but who has to return what? You have not mentioned it, so this will not be any fruitful result. Okay, so like this function definition, here we have not used any return statement, so the value will be printed. As this function will be executed, the value will be printed. Okay, so this function is not returning anything. Here also you can see there is no return statement. This hello and name value will be printed as it is, but no value will be returned by this function to the function call. Okay, again here return statement is written, but what is to be returned has not been mentioned, so it will not return anything. Similarly here, return what is not known to us, so it will not return anything. Means it will return none. None means nothing. Nothing is there, then what is the use of it? Okay, so you have used for these 4 functions, and these are all your standalone statements. They are not going to return anything to the Python, but Python is not going to give any type of error for this. Okay, every void function returns a none value to its caller. See the none value, I can give you an example here. If you are writing in this greet function print hellos, so hellos will get printed here. A is equal to greet matlab this is a function call will execute the statements inside it. So hellos, actually this is not going to return anything because this is a non-returning function, non-void function, so these are non-fruitful functions. So it will return what? None. Okay, this function is going to return what? None. So a will hold none. Okay, so by print statement you have printed it none. So one print statement will print hello, another print statement will print none. Okay, so you can see this type of code also. you are using a replicate function, print statement you have given, so this has been printed. Print replicate, so what you are doing here, you are calling the same function inside another function. Okay, here also we have done the same. We are calling in this function definition, you are calling the same function again. So this is called recursion, when a function calls itself. This is the concept of recursion. Okay, you will read this complete chapter I think 6, we will be reading about this recursion. This is very important topic. Okay, when inside another function, inside the same function, you are calling the same function again, this is known as recursion. Remember it, it is a very important concept. One complete chapter is there. Okay, so print replicate, replicate is a non-void function, so it will return none, so print will return none. Okay, here we can see replicate 1, this is another function, it is returning this and it is returning na, so when you will print it, so it will return this value. Okay, if you will use this return statement, then on printing this particular function, you will get the return value in the printout. Okay, so summary is that you can have 4 types of functions: non-void function with argument, non-void function without arguments, void function with arguments, void function without arguments. Okay, so here we have done all of the example. This is a non-void function with no arguments, right? This is also a non-void function. You can see non-void function, it is not going to return any value, but it is having arguments. This type of function is void function with no arguments, nothing is written inside it. But here this is a void, non-void, this is a void function because it is not going to return anything, but arguments are there. Okay, previously what we have read, these are our void functions with argument, and similarly we have read void function with no arguments also. Okay, so 4 types of functions are there. Again we come back. Firstly, we must remember there are 2 types of arguments. There are 2 types of function, void functions and non-void functions. Secondly, there are 2 variation, non-void with arguments, non-void without arguments, then void function with arguments, void function without arguments. So this you must remember. Now you can return more than one value also with a variable. Okay, so you just need to return statement, return this comma this. Okay, you give the value this comma this, 2 values can be returned, more than 2 values can be returned. A function call statement should receive or use returns values, then only it is possible. Now you see this type of function, return statement we are using, to what this type of function is called, this is a non-void function with 3 arguments because it is returning values. Okay, so it is a square function. How this will help you to square the values that you are passing as arguments. So it will square x into x, y into y, z into z, and whatever is the result will be returned to the function definition here. So how it will take x, y, z value from this function call, as we receive squared function with 2, 3, 4, it will go to the function call and will replace x as 2, 3 as y, y as 3 and z as 4. Okay, then whatever is returned will be stored in t, then we are printing t. Okay, one thing you must keep in mind, this is going to print in the form of tuple. Okay, we remember tuple is a data type. Okay, so whatever is being printed will be returned. So here you are returning more than one value. Okay, x square will be returned, y square will be returned, and z square will be returned using a comma. See, we have used comma, so 3 values will be returned, x square, y square and z square, and that too in the form of tuple. Okay, so similarly you can see here also, either see this time though you have returned it or to a single variable t you have written, but it is going to write 3 values here like this. But you can also give 3 variables, like x square will be stored in v1, y square will be stored in v2, z square will be stored in v3. Okay, so then you can print v1, v2, v3. If you are not using these three variables, then also you will get the output in the form of tuples like this. Okay, so this way you will get normal numbers, no tuple. Okay, but if you are using a single variable, then you will get values in the form of tuple. You must keep this thing in mind. Okay, now let us see one program related to the same. So here is the function definition. Okay, area calc is the function name. So you will be giving, so firstly this particular function header will be executed and this statement will be ignored. Now this num1 will be entered with the user, with the help of user will pass in num1 some value, num2 will be given by the user itself. Then you can see now num1 and num2 has been obtained, and how many variables are used? 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 value is going to return. You will num1 and num2 you will get from the user. Okay, this num1 and num2 in this function call will be passed to x and y. This x and y will be used to obtain addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus. Okay, modulus is used for calculating the remainder of the division. Okay, so it will be stored respectively, and then we will use this print statement to print the results. Okay, if you have passed 13 and 7, then sum will be 20, subtraction will be 6. Okay, product will be 91 and division will be this, and modulus will be, remainder will be 6. Okay, I hope this concept is clear. Beta, keep on revising the things, and by the end of this week, everyone must submit the 5 practicals of SQL. This is your homework for this week. You need to submit your 5 practicals of SQL to my WhatsApp number that is available in your group where I am posting these videos. Okay, everyone has to submit and keep revising the chapter. Don't skip it. No, none of the lecture should be skipped out. Otherwise you will not be clear with the concept. Keep on revising, beta. We will be doing practical also related to this chapter, but at the end when we have grasped all the concepts. Okay, thank you.